Welcome to Divine Earth School TV, the place where high achievers and spiritual seekers come to embody, embrace, and express their divinity, where I talk all things health, wellness, business, and spirituality. So let's dive in. Hello, 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 Mosaic Souls. Hey, Mosaic Souls, this is Rachael Alexander, artist and Mosaic Soul mentor, aka transformational coach with flair. And today I wanted to talk about 10 signs that you have adrenal fatigue. So let's dive into today's Wellness Wednesday episode. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. And today I wanted to talk about 10 signs, right, that you have adrenal fatigue. If you're joining me live, feel free to say hi and say your name in the chat and where you're from. So I'm going to dive into this content first of all. And let's first talk about what is adrenal fatigue, right? And I really wanted to talk about this because I know that a lot of people in my audience, a lot of you guys are struggling with chronic stress, and you might be having some of these symptoms, and why it might behoove you to know what these are and then what you can kind of do about it, right? So adrenal fatigue is basically a group of symptoms that are said to occur in people who are undergoing long-term mental, emotional, or physical stress, right? So supporters of adrenal fatigue say that you may be more likely to develop this condition if, for example, you have a stressful job, if you are a shift worker, or you're working student, or a single parent, or you're working multiple jobs, right? Or if you abuse alcohol or drugs, or you utilize those a little bit more than you care to admit, right? So that's basically is a group of symptoms that haven't technically been categorized in the Western allopathic medicine field yet as an actual disease or anything, but it's actually something that I definitely know in traditional Chinese medicine, they, kind of group these symptoms together. So it's usually basically a group of symptoms that sort of manifests. And just in general, regardless if allopathic medicine has recognized it as sorry, I have an eyelash. In general, even if the allopathic medicine world hasn't recognized it as something that they label, it's a real thing because you feel it, right? And I know what it feels like to feel adrenal fatigue because I used to struggle with some of these symptoms, right? So let's talk about 10 or more signs, right? The first sign is anxiety, right? Anxiety is, well, everyone knows what anxiety is, right? But that sense of feeling like, where you just are uneasy a lot. And I remember experiencing this with a coworker, actually, one of my ex-coworkers when I used to have a full-time job. She definitely struggled with anxiety all the time. Just not being able really to handle social situations as best as you can, or needing to sort of excuse yourself to sort of regroup, or your nerves are just shot, no matter how much sleep you get. So anxiety is one of the symptoms. Asthma, allergies, or respiratory complaints. This is one of the signs or symptoms. Dark circles under your eyes, right? Having very dense dark circles under your eyes is a sign that your adrenals are taxed and your adrenals are fatigued. Dizziness, right? When you get up too fast, or you're getting up and you just constantly feeling dizzy throughout your day, is also a sign and symptom. Depression is also linked with having adrenal fatigue, right? So feeling just not your best, and just not really having, it's sort of like a mental weight that kind of happens in your brain as well. So it's not just sort of like a, with depression, it's not just sort of like, oh, I feel bad because my circumstances suck. It's like, no, it's like a mental, physical thing that you're experiencing, right? Dry skin is also one of the symptoms. Extreme tiredness an hour after exercise, frequent urination, and insomnia, right? So having to use the restroom all the time. Well, the thing is if you drink a lot of water, then that's sort of kind of known, but your body is supposed to be absorbing the water that you drink, but that is also a sign. Insomnia, not being able to sleep. So the double whammy of adrenal fatigue is not only are you tired, but you can't even experience restful sleep. So kind of getting up in the middle of the night or not even being able to go to sleep is also a sign. And then like joint pain is sort of another sign of adrenal fatigue, where your joints, your elbows and your knees and those things hurt, right? So 1, 2, 3, I have like more than 10 symptoms. I'm trying to make sure I'm listing: anxiety, asthma, dark circles, dizziness, depression, dry skin, extreme tiredness, frequent urination, insomnia, joint pain, right? So those are 10. And I'm going to list some more, right? Lines in your fingertips. So when you have like excessive lines in your fingertips, loss of muscle tone, low blood pressure, low blood sugar, a low sex drive, lower back pain or numbness and tingling in your fingers, poor circulation, sign of poor circulation, or weight gain or weight loss, right? So those are signs and symptoms of adrenal fatigue, right? So what are you gonna do about it? What to do next? So if you look through like the list of, and you if you've listened to this list of symptoms that I just listed off, right? And you recognize a lot of those symptoms in your own life, right? What's next? So treating adrenal fatigue really is not as simple as just taking a pill each morning and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take a pill and my adrenals are gonna heal themselves. No, like you have to start doing things to like nourish your body, right? So treating adrenal fatigue it probably really took a long time for you to get yourself in this position. So it'll like take some time to recover, right? So to recover from adrenal fatigue, you really want to get your energy levels back to a normal state of being, right? And you'll need to follow like a number of different strategies, right? So the first thing that you want to do, and I'm going to just list off 3 ways to naturally get rid of adrenal fatigue. And the first way is to adopt what I would consider adrenal fatigue approved diet, right? And in every case of adrenal fatigue, diet is such a huge factor, right? And there are a number of foods that support adrenal function. They help replenish your adrenal energy so that your system can come back to full health. And the thing is, you must first start by removing any hard to digest foods, right? So any processed foods or any foods that just make you feel like crap afterwards, or any toxins or chemicals in your environment, you want to start to remove those. So the idea is to remove anything that taxes your adrenals, right? That makes your kidneys and your adrenals work overtime, right? So, and try to avoid the things that I talked about last week was caffeine and sugar, of course, and sweeteners, but also processed and microwave foods and hydrogenated oils, right? So those oils that have like, when you go and when you look at any products from even the healthiest stuff have these oils. It's crazy. Like, I love pumpkin seeds and I love like sunflower seeds and stuff like that. But I always have to be conscious to get them raw, because even if you get them in a supposedly natural health food store and things, stuff like that, they'll still put like these hydrogenated oils on it, like these cottonseed oils and these, vegetable oils and that stuff. And that also taxes the adrenals. It's like these little oil particles come in and they're like little terrorists to your cells, right? Like your body doesn't even know how to recognize that. So you want to avoid those, right? And definitely check out the link in the description box below to grab my free cheat sheet on, I talk about 10 ingredients you want to avoid to be at your best, but these also will be 10 ingredients to avoid when you have adrenal fatigue or when you're suffering from chronic stress, chronic fatigue and stuff like that, right? Another big key thing to do to overcoming adrenal fatigue is taking the right supplements, right? So I always recommend eating the right foods to heal your body. Supplements and natural medicine, a medicine bowl, are additional things that you can do to help revitalize your body's natural ability to do what it naturally wants to do, which is to detoxify and to get back to a state of homeostasis, right? So due to soil depletion from over-farmed and unhealthy farming practices, which I talked about in one of my other wellness videos, I'll link it up here afterwards, much of the fruits and vegetables don't have the same amount of nutrition that they did even 50 years ago, right? So thus, certain adrenal boosting nutrients are needed to get your adrenal function back up, such as herbs like ashwagandha, holy basil, magnesium, getting your EPA and DHA, If you can get them in vegan supplements, getting your omega 3s and omega 6s, right? Your vitamin B5, vitamin B12s, your vitamin C, right? Getting a lot of fruits and vegetables. If you see me right now, I have my big smoothie ready, waiting and ready for me to drink. And that has like 3 bananas and pineapple and mango and papaya and all that stuff and strawberries in it, right? So getting in, even though the soils and stuff like that aren't as nutrient rich as they used to be, that doesn't mean to not eat fruits and vegetables. You still want to eat your fruits and vegetables, but adding in this supplementation is going to give you that extra boost that, because we live in this modern society where it's predominantly based on profit versus actual nourishment. You still want to add those. That's why I believe in supplementation, because we don't live in the Garden of Eden anymore, and we don't live in a world where the divine has made everything as perfectly as it is without humans coming to tamper with it, right? Like, so our soil isn't back to where it needs to be. Also, a good zinc supplement. Taking zinc, I take this, let me see if you can see it, ionic zinc supplement. It is from Good State Health Solutions. I'll put a link in the description box below for that if you want to grab this. This is something I've been taking, and I do like it and have noticed a difference in my energy levels. So taking a good zinc supplement is also helpful. And then the last thing is you want to reduce adrenal fatigue stress reduction. So you want to participate in reducing your levels of stress, right? So if stress is the key thing that's taxing your adrenals, and then also poor diet, poor other habits, you want to start restoring your adrenal function by healing your mind and your stress, right? Reducing that and paying attention to your body's cues and signals. So rest when you feel like it as much as possible, right? Rest when you feel tired as much as possible. So like basic stuff that we learn from our doctors, but just that need to be repeated, making sure you're getting sleep 8 to 10 hours a night. Avoid staying up late at night and staying on a regular sleep cycle, ideally in bed before 10, 11 p.m., right? Or before 12, whatever your schedule is. Like if you're going to sleep at 10, but then go to bed at 10 and then you wake up at 7, or if you go to bed at 11, then you wake up at 8 or 9, whatever. Just making sure you're getting that 8 to 10 hour window, 7 to 10 hour window. It depends on your body's need for rest, right? Laugh and do something fun every day, right? One of the things that I do just as an artist is sing a lot. I was picked up my guitar last night and just start playing some tunes, right? So doing things that bring you joy. Also, minimize work and relational stress. So dealing with your stress on a day-to-day basis. I talk about that a lot on this channel. Feel free to check out any of my playlists, my personal development playlist for more tips on how to do that. Eat on a regular food cycle. So making sure that your body is getting nourishment on a regular and not starving yourself. So many times when I have clients, they tell me, the first thing that they tell me is, I say, so what do you eat on, a day-to-day basis? And, well, I usually skip breakfast. And then by the time I get to the office, I have a cup of coffee. And I'm always like, oh, wait. So you don't eat your first meal until 12 o'clock, which is totally fine because I usually don't eat until then. But I usually break my fast with a smoothie or fruit or something like that. But they usually fuel their bodies with caffeine, which is even more taxing, like I talked about with the number one ingredient to avoid, and sugar, right? So you want to avoid that and start nourishing your body at regular intervals, right? Getting that fruit snack and stuff like that, and getting rid of reducing your caffeine and sugar addiction, like I talked about last week. And then exercise, even moderate exercise, and walking can really help, right? So during your lunch breaks, making sure that maybe you can go outside if you're, if you have a job or whatever, and taking a little mini walk around your neighborhood, if you're working from home, or if you're at an office and just sort of walking around the building or just walking around your office. But yeah, getting a little bit of exercise can help, and avoiding negative people and negative self-talk, and taking time for yourself and doing something relaxing and energizing, right? And seeking counsel or support for any traumatic experiences, or just support in creating these habits, right? And these habits and these rituals, right? So those are the 3 things that you want to do if you want to reduce adrenal fatigue, right? The first one is to adopt an adrenal approved diet. include some adrenal fatigue supplements into your diet, and then reduce your stress, right? And I just listed off like over 7 ways that you can do that there. And that's really what it really takes, right? All it takes is just really a few small lifestyle changes that can really make all the difference in your life and your health, right? So do it not only for yourself, but for your family and for your friends, and start living the life that you were really meant to be living. So if you really want help in diving into this further, then check out my free cheat sheet in the description box below. And if you want to take it a step further, then visit me at divineearthschool.com/call to see how we can work together. And I have my adrenal recovery program that I work with my clients on. And we work to start implementing some of these things that I shared with you in today's Wellness Wednesday. And visit me at divineearthschool.com/call to book a call with me and to see how we can really jumpstart your health and really help you heal your adrenals and get back to living your best life and living your divine and beautiful life. So, your time is now. 2021 is we're still at the beginning of the year. We're going into the last month of the first quarter. And I'm super excited to be able to support you guys and give you as much tips and tricks and tools to help you feel revitalized and alive in your body. So thank you so much for joining me in today's Wellness Wednesday. And as always, flow with what feels good and let go of what doesn't, because you are divine. You are a divine being, and your soul knows exactly what you've come to experience, explore, and express. So vibrate higher, and I will catch you guys next Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace, love, and light.